Hey everyone. Yeah, thought I'd do a bit of a vlog. I'm off today and tomorrow, and my mom's not here right now. She's with the kids and my second oldest sister. She's watching them because my second oldest sister has to work, and her husband is kind of out of town on a business trip. But it's been quite a past few days, and not a lot of us, let's be honest, are thrilled when we have to find out, oh, you got to go to the dentist and you got to get fillings, or you got to get teeth pulled, extracted, if you will. You got to get, implants or whatever. We don't like the dentist, let's be honest. And although they are there to take care of you and everything, usually when you do get your appointment and you do go to it, things usually, even if you're in pain for a few days, they usually work out in the end. But for some odd reason, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. Hold on. I'm recording the All-Star game and all that right now, but like I said, usually things work out well in the end, but apparently I guess there was a bit of a miscommunication. Last Thursday I went to go see them to get my teeth checked to find out what needed to be done, what teeth need to be extracted and what need to be, filled and stuff like that. But apparently, basically what kind of work needed to be done and what needed to be fixed, repaired, replaced, things like that. But apparently, I guess there was a miscommunication because when I left the dentist office, which is Golden Valley Health Center, that Thursday, there was some kind of miscommunication because one, they said that the next opening they had was today at 11 o'clock. So I figured, okay, fine. So they told me at 11 o'clock today, and I guess there was a miscommunication because I told them, well, let me check my work schedule. I don't know if I'm off that day. And from what I understood, and from what it sounded like to me, the receptionist said, well, let us know if anything changed. Call us. Well, basically, overall, her response was to basically call them back if anything changes. Basically, if I couldn't keep it. That's what it sounded like to me. And again, maybe there was a miscommunication on both ends, but that's what it sounded like to me. That she basically said, well, call us, let us know if anything changes. So again, to me, that sounded like I had the 11th penciled in to go and get the extraction done. Well, I go in there today, and apparently they don't have me on the schedule. So again, must be a miscommunication, but then here's what really gets me. I go in there, and they don't even recall or have it on record that I was there the previous Thursday. Now, it doesn't matter, it shouldn't matter whether you're, a hospital like Kaiser or your dental place like Clear Choice or Family Dental or whatever. You should always have records of your patients' your clients or patients' previous appointments. So that at least you could probably have a clue of, oh, okay, maybe they're meant to be here. Maybe. Well, like I was saying, it doesn't matter if you're Kaiser, your Kaiser, your Clear Choice, your Family Dental, your Stormont Vale. Doesn't matter. You should always have records of your clients' or patients' previous appointments, so at least you can kind of get the idea of, okay, maybe what they're telling us is a fact. But they didn't have no records. And they looked at me like, really, you were here last Thursday? I don't know. But then, hold on for a sec. But then, because there's two receptionists. The other receptionist told the other one, okay, all you have to do is bring up his number, probably show the paperwork, and see if the doctor, the dentist, the guy that does the extractions, can see him, can fit him in. Well, they didn't even do that. Well, she mentions it, but they don't do it. Instead, the other receptionist, who's pulling up my information, moves on to the next patient, next families. Even though she pulls it up before that, and it has a graph, not the x-rays, but it has an animated graph, an animated picture, or basically a map of my teeth and what needs to be extracted, filled, and worked on. So she brings up that, but she also says there's two accounts. Now, of course, I'd been there before, but I hadn't been there in a long time, basically because, like I mentioned earlier, like a lot of you, I don't like to go to the dentist that much because of the fact that, you hear certain stories about them and things that happen, in the dentist office, and, you don't want to have to deal with that. You don't want to have to deal with those kind of things that you hear in those stories, in those recollections by people that go. So anyway, I had to re-register on this past Thursday. I had to re-register. And what happened? Again, on Thursday I registered, I had my appointment and everything, took care of it. So like I said, I registered and everything, but again, I go back there today, and there's nothing. And like I said, she tells the lady, okay, look up the newest number, the newest account number, registration number, so maybe the doctor can fit me in. Because, as I mentioned on Facebook, what's the point of telling somebody like me that there's an 11 o'clock opening if you're not going to leave it open? That's what I wonder. I mean, and why couldn't you just be considerate on the day you get that possible appointment, say, and have them acknowledge that, okay, we'll keep that 11 o'clock open for you, but if anything changes, let us know. I mean, again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, that's what I thought in my mind was, okay, when I told them, well, let me check my schedule, to me, it sounded like they replied, well, call us back if anything changes, if you can't keep it. That's what I thought. So when they say, okay, call us back if you can't make it, or call us back if anything changes, that to me, and again, maybe it was a miscommunication, that to me acknowledges that at least I have the 11 o'clock opened in case I can make it. So, again, long story short, instead of being considerate and telling me, okay, can you take a seat and we'll see if the doctor can see you and do the extractions, instead, they go on to the next family and they basically hand me a card and they say, call us back when you find an opening in your work schedule. Really? Find an opening in my work schedule. But here's the other thing. Usually when you go to see a dentist, that dentist is part of a but is part of a health center for low-income families or whatever. That dentist shouldn't be there just once a week. No, especially if that dentist is going to extract teeth or fix teeth or whatever. They shouldn't be there just for one day a week. Okay? They shouldn't be there for just one day a week. And this is why I put on my Facebook, perhaps there's a place out there here in the Central Valley that has an extractor, a tooth extractor at the office, ready to go more than just for one day a week. Because 1 day a week does not work for a lot of people. What if it's an emergency? What if something's hurting them so bad they need to get it pulled out? You need to get it pulled out. I mean, what if it's an emergency? You know what I'm saying? You know, what if it's an emergency? It doesn't make any sense. What, you're going to wait until they tell you, well, you got to wait until Tuesday and then we'll get you in. And again, where's the consideration of saying, okay, take a seat, we'll see if we can get him in for you. We can see if we can get you in. Where's the consideration? Where's the record of me being there before? You see, that is what ticked me off. And when I told my mom, it didn't please her as well either. Because there's not many places that take Medi-Cal, which I have, which is part what I have. Now, I may have to look into my company benefits to see if maybe that's going to cover some other areas. Because honestly, my sisters, well, one of my sisters anyway, is going to constantly keep getting on me about this. Heck, my older sister accused me right off the bat of canceling it. And one, I did not cancel. I did not cancel whatsoever. It's like I said on Facebook. Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about going and getting this done, but it has to be done. It's now or never. But if that's the case, but again, with all that said, and that's the case, why wouldn't they just say, hey, like go say, here, take a seat. And we'll see if we can see if we get the doctor to fit you in. At least maybe one of the nurses back there or female dentist assistants back there could be like, oh yeah, I know that guy. I think he is supposed to be here. And yet you don't have me on record? Now again, maybe it was a miscommunication. Maybe because when I last went there, I wasn't working. So I had time open to come and go. Now I'm working and my schedule doesn't work unless I do PTO. But again, still, they should at least had record of my last appointment so they might at least start thinking, oh, he is supposed to be here. Maybe he is supposed to be here. Let's try to fit him in. At least show some freaking courtesy. But they didn't even do that. They just went about the business. Now, maybe true, it didn't help that it was 11 o'clock in the morning and they were probably getting hungry, and usually when you get hungry, you get a little cranky, or maybe a little like, hey, you know, don't bug us right now, we're trying to get this done so we can go to lunch kind of deal. Fine. But you don't have to, fine, I can understand that, but don't take it out on your patients or your clients. I mean, yeah, you expand. I mean, this building I go to used to be just one little building, and what, it expands into a hospital part? The point is, whether it was a miscommunication or not, they should have been considerate. They should have looked at my records, thought about it for a second, and said, you know what? Maybe he is meant to be here. Maybe he is scheduled. But I don't know. All I know is if I schedule with them again, I'm just worried I'm going to go through the same crap again. That's what I'm worried about. So you know what? I schedule with them again. I don't want to go through the same crap. But maybe there's someone else out there. I know my second oldest sister's mother-in-law, her husband's mom, works for a dentist and knows somebody out in Modesto. Maybe that person takes Medi-Cal. I don't know. But the thing is, I'm getting sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of this kind of crap. Okay? I'm sick and tired of miscommunications. And yeah, maybe it was a miscommunication on my part and then on their end. But they should at least, and tell me if I'm wrong or right, they should have at least kept that 11 o'clock open for me to go in. They should have said, mostly on Thursday, okay, we'll keep the 11 o'clock open for you, but if anything changes, let us know. They shouldn't have just told me, oh, if anything changes, let us know. Because they gave me the impression of, okay, I am in. I'm cleared. I'm ready to go. They should have they should have said, okay, we'll keep 11 o'clock open for you and go from there. And then give me a call, reminder, probably the day before, saying you got an appointment at 11 o'clock with so-and-so doctor for tooth extraction. They should have done that, but they didn't. And I think that's where the miscommunication came, because they didn't acknowledge, oh, we need to put 11 o'clock. We need to leave it open for Brian Walmer to come in and get some of his teeth extracted. But they didn't even do that. Instead, what do? Miscommunicate. They don't have me on there. And this is BS. Pure BS. So you know what? It's like I said, God's got my back on this, and I'm putting this in God's hands and His timing. And you know what? Maybe the timing is not right now, but it will be soon. When and where that will happen, I don't know. But quite honestly, I had a bad feeling about this. Something told me something was going to happen. I didn't know what it would be. And quite honestly, when the doctor that's recommended to us by a friend tells me that, oh, we can't put permanents, or doesn't say anything about, oh, we're going to give you dentures or flippers or whatever. It makes it sound like you're just going to have a gap in several areas. It doesn't help your feeling. You know what I'm saying? So overall, it's this. I'm putting this in God's hands and in His timing. And if I'm meant to go within the next few weeks, I will go. If I'm not meant to go until there's a place that I could find that can finance and accept Medi-Cal and give me, like my mom likes to have, a straight answer and consultate with me of how things are going to go, then I don't know when I'm going to get these fixed. And maybe this is God's way of teaching my family that you need to be patient. And you need to wait. Because sometimes timing is everything. That's all I'm saying. But let me know if you guys have dealt with this in any kind of situation involving the dentist or the doctors. Have you guys dealt with this kind of scenario in the past? Let me know down below. Comment if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.